It's a very common, very deep, and very, very important dilemma. And it's not only, of course, for those from an Indian family, although there tends to be, I think, in some cultures, and Indian is not the only one, but perhaps more of an expectation that we will do exactly what our family members want. And the dilemma with that, of course, is that unless you are blessed in such a way that you were brought into the world, into a family of people who were enlightened, that like you were the son or the daughter of a rishis, sages, unless that was your situation, your family members, even though in most cases their hearts are in the right place, they love you, they want good things for you, nonetheless, they are moving through the world also with their own package of ignorance, of fear, of ego, of desires. Just because they are our family, just because we love them, does not render them unimpacted or unaffected by the pulls of their own karmic drama. And the dilemma of that is that we end up then getting pulled in to their karmic drama. So meaning, for example, let's say that I grew up in a family that didn't have much money. I always felt like we didn't have enough. Maybe I was teased at school for not having enough. Okay, I grow up. I marry a very successful man. I become very successful. I make a lot of money. He makes a lot of money. Now we have a beautiful mansion home. We have lots of cars. Now we have children. Now, after sending our children to the best schools, using our money to give them the best education and tennis classes and ice skating classes and this class and horseback riding classes and art lessons and music lessons and special summer camps and this and that, my child tells me that he or she wants to be something that in my mind is not the right outcome of the upbringing we've given them. Maybe in my mind the outcome is a doctor, an engineer, a business person, right? I mean, this is what people who have a good education, all sorts of resources, this is what we do. We become doctors, we become CEOs, we become engineers, we become lawyers, we become these very, very well-paid professionals. But maybe my child says, I want to be a school teacher. Noble profession, essential profession, not a very high-paying one, not one that necessarily tragically in our society is given the type of acclaim that it should have. We should bow down and touch the feet of school teachers. But it's not typically how it happens. So maybe my child says, I want to be a school teacher. I want to teach kindergarten. So I'm not even going to be a college professor. I'm going to teach kindergarten. Now, what happens? My whole history, all of my complexes that I had when I was growing up of not having enough, not being enough, not feeling confident in myself, that I've basically numbed myself of through a life of making money and succeeding, and now I have all the things. Suddenly all of that comes back. Suddenly I say to my child, no, how dare you? You couldn't. After everything we've given you. Now I'm reacting. And the dilemma is that although I love my child, and although at the corest, highest level, yes, of course, I want them to be happy, but unless I've really done a lot of psychological work, unless I've really faced and worked with and overcome all of the identities and complexes that I had in my childhood, I'm not going to be able to support my child in their path without my own agenda and complexes and issues coming in. And this is what happens in families. And then, of course, I make my child feel guilty. I've worked so hard to give you the education I've given you. The least you can do, for God's sakes, is become a doctor. What will the neighbors say? Besti ho jayega. Log kya sochenge? What will people think? We'll be so embarrassed. Everybody else's children are becoming doctors. And I'm not responding to my child from a place of truth and love. I'm coming at it from a place of my own complexes. And this is a dilemma because we love our family, and especially in Indian culture, that obedience and service and surrender to the wishes of the family is seen as such a high tenet. The dilemma becomes when our family, they're human. And they're human with their own issues, and they're human with their own agendas. And us simply giving in, not fulfilling our real dharma, just because that brings up too much anxiety for one of my family members, or pushes the button of a family member, isn't according to the agenda that a family member had. Well, that doesn't serve either me or them. Because remember that their highest goal in life on a deep spiritual level is not to browbeat everybody into doing what I want. If every time people don't obey me, it makes me very upset, my highest goal in life should not be to figure out how to get everybody to obey me, because that doesn't actually give me the ability to work through that ignorance. It doesn't give me the ability to work through that fear, that anxiety, that identity, that construct. Actually, the highest thing you could do for me, with love, with respect, with caring, with humility, is to embody your truth in such a way that it actually creates the space for me to embody mine. And that's the best of what we can do for our family members. In the short run, in the Band-Aid approach, yes, whatever they want, do it. Everybody will be happy. But then we simply live our lives with our highest goal being people-pleasing. But it's not actually even serving them. Because all you're doing is putting a Band-Aid over their agendas, over their complexes, over their fears, over their egos, over their issues. A much greater service is to live your truth, even if it's not exactly what they want, but to do it with such love and such humility and such clarity. Because the other thing that happens a lot is we do the exact opposite of what people in our family want, not because it's our dharma to do that, but just because I'm not going to do what they say. Hell with them. They can't tell me what to do. They can't run my life. I won't do what they want. Now, the dilemma with that is I'm actually just as much under their thumb if I do exactly what they want as if I do the opposite of what they want, just because it's the opposite of what they want. Either way, my actions are being determined by what they want. In both cases, I'm a slave. And so we have to be careful also, because there's a tendency toward rebellion that is, oh, you want me to be a doctor? I'll show you. And even if on a core level, I love science and I love the idea of being a doctor, but that instinct in me that says you can't tell me what to do pushes me to say, I'm going to teach kindergarten instead. Hell with you. And that actually is just as damaging, even more damaging, than doing something that isn't really my dharma just because it's what they want me to do. Freedom is I'm making my decisions in truth, in love, and of course taking you into consideration. You at your highest level, not you on your identity of anxiety or your identity of this agenda. And that takes courage. And it takes also the ability to really love, even in the face of someone telling you, you're making a wrong decision, how dare you, you're selfish, you're this, you're that, to just be able to be grounded in love and truth, knowing that what you are doing is exactly the right decision, and that actually it's going to give that person the opportunity to come into their truth and into their love, because in being forced to let go of that agenda that they have, that they've created out of their own karmic history, you're actually helping free them of their own ignorance. You're helping free them of their own sense of, oh my God, what will the neighbor say if you're not a doctor? And it's a beautiful experience. But it has to be done in humility and really ensuring that you're grounded in truth and that you're not running away. So it's not, they want me to be a doctor. I really know I should be a doctor, but I hate math class. I hate science class. It's too hard. I'm not good enough at it. I hate the guy sitting next to me. And so, in running away, I end up missing the opportunity to actually do what I was supposed to do. So make sure that that which you think is really what's right for you is really what's right for you. Not in a what's easy for you, not in a what's pleasant for you. The example I always give about this is Arjuna. The Bhagavad Gita is the answer for everything. And you think about the teachings that Lord Krishna gave Arjuna when he was having him stand up and fight this battle. Wasn't what Arjuna wanted to do. It wasn't enjoyable. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't romantic. It wasn't easy. It basically killed him on the inside. But it was what he needed to do. It was his dharma. And so it's important to remember that when we really are talking about I need to follow what is right for me, that it's not what is easy for me. It's not what sounds like fun. It's not what's glamorous, it's not what's romantic, it's not what's going to put my picture on the front cover of a magazine. It's not what's going to make everybody like me. But it's really rooted in what's right for me. And if it is, the truth is a magnet. And even your family members will feel that. It's what I experienced when I came to India, when I made this decision to be here. Incredibly difficult at the beginning. But slowly, slowly, if you just live your truth, not trying to shove it down other people's throats, not trying to convince them, but just grounded in your love, your truth, your openness. The truth is a magnet. And slowly, slowly, slowly they'll be pulled toward